Sorry about that. Hello, Will. I'm Will, the Nerdy Nerf Herder, and I have got things fixed, so that way we should be hearing stuff now. Alright, so I'm just kind of looking to see what we can hunt at the moment. Seeing what's available that I need. Not seeing anything real exciting to hunt. Let's see if we can refresh here. Alright. Let's see here. Let's find something to hunt. So I could use the clauncher line. Alright. But I don't think we need the pan. Yeah, we don't need the panpour line. Let me see if I need quillfish. I need quillfish. Alrighty. So we'll fly over here. How's it going? Welcome, welcome. Alright, so we're about to start hunting hunting for either the clauncher line or quillfish. We don't need the panpour. I've been working towards a shiny living dex, and we still need the whole clauncher line. Oh, I know. I bet I forgot to... I apologize. I forgot to set my information here. Oh, nope, I didn't. Alrighty, sweet. I thought I might have had it still set for Pokopia. I also do building in Pokopia, since you're just joining me. I don't think I've seen you in here before, but welcome. I appreciate you stopping by. Alright. Looks like we're down low with that. Okay. There it is. I haven't been playing champions, really. I don't battle. I'm more of a shiny hunter. I understand competitive. I prefer a little cozier style gameplay. Alright, let's see what donuts we got here real quick. Fairy, dragon, all types. Fighting. It is tempting to use this one for that poison for the quillfish, but we're gonna go with all types. So we'll go with this one. Ah. I was going to say, I'm trying to think if there's maybe a way you could set it up from home without having to switch, but... Alrighty. So we need to do in the catch window. So we'll just go ahead and do this. Well, maybe we should switch to net balls. Alright. Get my normal person back up here. I usually use... That might be the way to do it. I have to admit I don't know too much about emulation for that, but... If you could find a way to get it, like, even set up on a friend's account, you know, for a moment and get it off of that, that would be the way to go. Now, of course, you don't need a Switch 2 for Legends ZA. You can get it on the basic Switch. So we're going to use this to get our catch window and our mission objectives done. Alright, so that's our mission objectives. Which, yay, we can have a special scan after that. Which... I have not been having good luck with the special scans lately. I seem to be getting nothing but battle zones, or the Pokemon I already have all the shinies for my shiny decks. We're trying to get that Latios still, the pop. Alright, let's get out of range. There's the ball. Alrighty. Now to do a couple of quick resets here. I don't usually like hunting in the sewers. I find them to be a bit much. Partially because you have to run around to check. But... that's what we have to do, that's what we have to do. I've done pretty much all of the shiny legendaries, but Latios, so that's the last special scan legendary that I need. And I'm getting close to the point where I can get the shiny Volcanion in home for registering the complete Pokedex. So I imagine if you were to look in pawn shops, you could probably find a Switch pretty cheap at this point, or at least a Switch Lite pretty cheap. I know when I was trying to get rid of my old Switch, I almost couldn't find somebody to give it to. But I have been shiny hunting, and I also do some shiny hunting in Scarlet and Violet, which there's still Pokemon I can hunt there. I just haven't managed to go back to it since doing Legends ZA. Pokemon Pocopia's kind of been my main focus as of late. Since it's come out, I've put over 630 hours in it, I found out the other day. So that was... I played Pokemon Go for the longest time. I made it to level 40 before they capped it. Or before they raised the cap. And kind of fell off for a while there. Like, I completely missed that it was Community Day. I've been playing more of the TCG Pocket than I have anything, and I'll be honest, I haven't set up my phone to stream or anything like that. I'm using capture card with the Switch 2 here, which is what I'm playing ZA on. But I do play the TCG Pocket probably more than any other mobile game. I used to play Go pretty heavily, and there was a point where I was basically missing the non-US regional Pokemon, and ones that hadn't been released yet. But now we've gotten to the point where couldn't tell you the last time I booted it up. Which, I mean, the whole deal with Niantic selling it and then basically using it, all the information we gathered to improve weapons AR location finding. That's just like I knew they were doing something with the information. Ah, yeah. And see, I remember, so like when I had last booted into Yo, would have been about the time when they had started rolling out with the Applin and the Flapple and all of those, and I was just like, y'all making this too much work. Like, it was for a while there, like, I was super active in my local community. I participated in a Facebook group where, like, I would help them consolidate where people could report research tasks, and then I would post the most commonly asked for research tasks on the Facebook page for everybody to go find the ones they wanted. And like, I was really active in Go up and through, I'd say about the time when just after Kalos Pokemon started coming out. So it would have been for Alolan Pokemon being the main focus. Which, I mean, the release kind of got wonky there, because they went from doing it generational to just kind of like, we're going to release this group, all out of order. Here's your Galarians, even though we haven't gotten you this yet. Plus, with having kids, getting active in other things, it made running around doing the raids a little bit harder to do. Zygarde cells are always annoying. So, like, even in the Alolan games, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, Sun and Moon, all of those, getting the Zygarde cells was just so obnoxious in that even. So, like, I get it. And I imagine, and with what I could tell from Go, it's worse. And same with the Gimmighoul. Like, the Gimmighoul seemed off pretty obnoxious, too, for Pokemon Go. Which, don't even get me started on the fact that they shiny locked it in Scarlet and Violet. I hated that. Still not far enough. Which I finally did get my shiny Golden Go. Of course, I caught it in a Master Ball because it was one of those times where I was doing it on getting the donut, and it was only just a few minutes left, and it was an alpha shiny, so like I had to act quickly, so I ended up wasting. I guess I wouldn't say wasting my Master Ball. It just ends up that the Master Ball ended up being what it caught in. But yeah, no, I used to play Go heavily, and it was just having kids start having their own priorities and things that they want to do, and wife working opposite schedule. It turned into, okay, when everybody's out doing raids and I'm out off work, I was getting my kids fed and making sure they got their homework done, stuff like that. Doing activities with them. And it's like, oh yeah. Which now they have their own phones, and my son does like playing Pokemon Go, like when we're out and about and he can. Like, one of his favorite places to play Go is when we go to the zoo. Because they always have a bunch of Pokestops around zoo. See, that's what I keep telling myself. It was a reasonable use, because, like, literally I had, like, 30 seconds left of the zone before the donut energy ran out. It's an alpha shiny that's really only available as a shiny through raids when Nintendo puts it on Scarlet and Violet and turns on the shiny, or through special scans here. So, like, I keep trying to convince myself it was a worthy use of the Master Ball, even though it was partially accidental as I was trying to scroll to another Pokeball to use. And panic throwing in between to stop it from attacking me. But I have that kind of don't use your Master Ball ingrained in me the hard way. I am also excited for Gen 10. So, I have a shiny fail story for you. It was the midnight release of Sun and Moon. And I was at the GameStop, standing in line, and at the time I want to say I was working on training up some Pokemon in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, just level grinding in Victory Road. And I had a shiny Graveler show up while I'm sitting there waiting for Sun and Moon to, and I throw my Quick Ball, and it breaks out of the Quick Ball on the third shake, and then use Explosion or Self-Destruct, one of the two. And I was so upset, but the icing on the cake is that I had it happen again. Only with a shiny Geodude in another game. Yup, it went kaboom, lost the shinies. So, like, I have still not gotten back all the shiny Gravelers and Geodudes and Golems that I need, both Alolan and non-Alolan. And that's kind of been one of those kind of running jokes, is I can never manage to catch the shiny Graveler or Geodude. Now, that being said, I've gotten the Alolan line taken care of, largely thanks to Pokemon Go and Scarlet and Violet. But I still have not finished the basic Geodude line for my Shiny Living deck with all my years of hunting shinies, which I've been playing since Red and Blue, which I know you really couldn't effectively shiny hunt in that. Though you can shiny hunt in the digital versions on the 3DS, the process is a bit convoluted. Um, but I am super excited for the new games, which is knowing that they would be coming out on Switch 2 was part of why I made a push to get my Switch 2 so quickly. I was fortunate enough that I was able to get it on launch. One of those, things just happened to work out where I was able to get it. Which is ironically what happened with my original Switch console. Is it was sold out for the pre-orders, and GameStop opened a special event where if you went and put your name on the waiting list, you would be entered in for a chance to get a pre-order of a extra stock that they had gotten since the pre-order sold out. And literally on my way home, the manager called me and said he had drawn my name for it. So, like, I've gotten lucky on both Switch and Switch 2 launches where I was able to get one on launch last minute just due to a weird fluke of chance of things working out when I didn't think they were going to work out. Between finances or lack of pre-orders. Which, the Switch 2 for Scarlet and Violet is great. That whole theory that Scarlet and Violet was maybe supposed to be on the Switch 2 originally, I can see where they're coming from with that. I don't think it's true. I saw another theory that showed that if you run the Switch on overclocked mode, that Scarlet and Violet ran really well, and that they accidentally developed it basically to use the full capacity rather than the standard running capacity. I don't know how much I'd buy that, but it is noteworthy that the person who tested it said he found that it did run better when he forces Switch into overclock mode, which I wouldn't encourage anybody to try to do. But it does run great on Switch 2. That was one of those free upgrades that I took advantage of when I first got it, and it was just like, yes, this is how it's supposed to be. And then it was like, oh wait, now I'm getting like 30 Pokemon on the screen. How can this actually sustain the population of Pokemon that's spawning? Like, I started thinking about like environmental things. Like, you know, if you were in the real world and you had this many of this in this little bit of an area, what would that species have wouldn't that species have an effect on the environment? And then it was just like, okay, build a video game. But I am excited for Winds and Waves. I keep hearing this rumor that the whole reason we got Pokopia is that it is a split off of some of the ideas that they had for Winds and Waves that they decided to make its own game. And that makes me wonder if we're going to get a really in-depth, like, base building option for Winds and Waves. I know environmental issues sounds like it could be the major theme. Just given that it's Winds and Waves, like, I'm just waiting for that IGN rating of too much water. That, and I'm also waiting for Dive to come out here on Pokopia. I am ready for that DLC and not ready at the same time. But yeah, if you're able to save up and get a Switch 2, I highly recommend it. Like, don't break yourself trying to get it, but like, it is worth the upgrade. Especially if you like Nintendo IPs. And I'm also looking forward to being able to have Elden Ring portable on it here soon. at this rate, I'm starting to worry this may be a reset zone. Where we reset, get our donut back, and try another zone. But yeah. Since the Graveler incident, I learned to save my Master Balls a little more carefully, and there's still that slight hesitation whenever I use it of what can blow up in my face that I need to save this for. But I hate to use a sparkly donut and not get at least one shiny. And like, I guess I could start like quick warping for the quillfish to see if we can force a quillfish, but like at the same time, I'd almost rather get the Clauncher line. Going back to, I hate the supers. My favorite one is the one with the meadow where you can see everything. Because I'm not even sure if the Claunchers are spawning in when we go in initially. If they're still within range. Termin quillfish. But I would be sad for our shiny Sunday not to yield a shiny, so we'll figure out something to make it. See if we can't get at least one shiny today. Oh, it's all too much. One of the things I've been trying to get to pop in this game, because where I'm working on the Lumios Pokedex for the shiny Volcanion and home, is I need the Hisuian Quillfish to pop, so I can get Overquill, and I need the Galarian Farfetch, so I can get Thurfetch still. But I also really need Mimikyu. And I've not been able to get Mimikyu to pop. which I know Mimikyu is needed not only for the Pokedex, but to gift to someone so we can open up Magearna. Which I can't recall another instance of Shiny Volcanion being released off the top of my head, other than this home distribution. So definitely have to get that for my Shiny Living Dex. Speaking of Pokemon Go earlier, the shinies I wish that I'd gotten more for that is a shiny Sprigatito, one more shiny Sprigatito, and the shiny Quaxley line. Because I still haven't gotten all I need for those. I've got one shiny Sprigatito. I've got two shiny Meowscaradas. One Protean, one non-hidden ability, so Torrent. Or not Torrent. As I think of Greninja. Overgrowth. Which I'm pretty sure I had a shiny fail in this game on that Froakie that likes to perch itself up on the pillar. I keep having issues where I'll get close, almost close enough to throw balls at it, and like a Phalanx or something will get in the way, and next thing I know, it's startled and running, and I'm nowhere close to being able to catch it yet. All because the Phalanx won't stop attacking me. So what we want is Quillfish. Or Clauncher. So for this week's streams, we're looking at Tuesday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be doing Pokemon Pokopia. I have been kind of adjusting things in Pallet Town, and we've about got it ready where I can start. I want to build a couple more like food vendor stalls, and then we're gonna start on our camp store and start on our resort campground or luxury campground for Pallet Town. And then once that luxury campground's done with, and a little bit of food vendors that I'm wanting to do kind of near where we put our bookshop near the museum. That'll finish out Pallet Town. I'm hoping this next stream we can at least finish up the food trucks or food stalls, whichever I decide that I want to do. I'm still debating on whether they should be proper stalls or if they should be food trucks. Because I did enjoy building the food truck that we've got in Pallet. It may be that we do stalls, though. Or we may even do an actual storefront. But regardless, I think we can get the food stalls done possibly on the next stream. And then by the end of this week, once we add in our Thursday night and Friday night streams of Pokopia, I'm hoping that we should be able to finish the campgrounds. Which means I'll finally be ready to go and start destroying what I built up in all the other zones and making them look nice. Because that's kind of been my focus there, was getting Pallet Town how I wanted it. Pallet Town has been kind of like my test zone as I try to figure out different building techniques and try stuff out to see how I want to do the rest of the zone. So, like, obviously we built a bunch of we built a couple of greenhouses, we've built a museum, we've done a little beach, tourist area, complete with lifeguard towers and stuff like that. Which can be duplicated partially in other zones. I do want to make some more original kind of builds in the other zones, while also at the same time keeping true to certain things. Like, I think we're going to try to keep the pathing and the color schemes a little more in line with the respective cities that the zones represent. And see what we can do with materials and making it look nice. And then for Friday, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic stream will be, since I went on vacation mode this week due to some personal issues, we'll be resuming that playthrough, and we'll be able to finish off Tatooine as we head to Kashyyyk, which will bring my favorite character into that game. Yes, use water gun, hit there. Yeah, I think this one's going to be a bust, guys. We'll get the donut back, though, and we'll reset to the, backup save. And let's try to find another zone. I'm gonna do a couple more checks. But for a shiny level 2 all types donut, this has kind of been a dud version. But maybe once we get the donut back, we do a bench reset, we'll find a zone we like better. And in fact, we're just going to do it. So yeah, I put considerably more hours into Pokopia than I have Legends ZA or whatnot. Now, admittedly, my number one game on the Switch for hours played is still Stardew Valley. Alright, so we got... Let me see what's here. I think we're just going to rest. Yeah, we're going to rest at the bench. Kill some time. See if we can get a better roll. So many battle zones. Like, I wish they would fix it so that the battle zones didn't spawn in as frequently for hyperspace. Like, they're okay-ish for, like, if you're trying to grind through the points. But when you're really looking to hunt something, they can be a bit of a problem. Which already this is looking like we're going to be hunting something here shortly. Because while I don't need Houndour, let's see here. I know I've got one. Let's see. We've got a Fennekin. So we still need the evolutions. I've got a new Mel. And I've got a Camerupt. We'll go with it. We'll go here. Can't remember if we have a fire type sandwich or not. Or not sandwich. Donut. My apologies. Though we will likely be making sandwiches soon. Alright. Looks like we're going with all types again. And here's to hoping we can get the shiny I need. Let's see how the zone's set up. so sick of the sewers. The sewers are not kind to me. Yeah, we're gonna get our donut back. We're not doing that. That one's not a good layout for hunting what I want. Oh. Alright. Try again. Find something else. Yeah, nothing I really want to go for. Let's try again. And I admit some of it is where it's like, oh yeah, we could I think I do need the spinner rack line, but like, I'm not wanting to go for that right now. We could do this. But knowing my luck, it would be the Trubbish that we get. But I still need a Weeping Bell. We'll do it. And we'll use that poison one that we've got. The small zone. And hopefully it's not a sewer zone. Alright. So I've got a Shroodle, but I do not have... Don't think I have Shroodle and Graphite yet. Yep. And it's a... It is like, hey, would you like to be in sewers? Maybe this is my sign that I need to, like, get through the zone. So we can get that special scan. Run, 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 try not to die. Here. Try to de-aggro some of that. There wasn't one that we messed up here. Sometimes there is. Okay. Let's claim our big ball. Our nice golden shiny ball. And I know that the weeping bells and whatnot should be spawning in with where we're warping here. So we're just going to do some flash warping for a little bit here. See if we can't get something to spawn in. Because again, I need a Trudel still to evolve into a Grafai, or a straight up Grafai. And then we need Weeping Bell and Victory Bell still, because I recently got my very first shiny Pellsprout. I don't need the Trubbish line though. Which, if you ever want a shiny Trubbish, feel free to take all the time taking pictures of it at Legends ZA, as long as you don't keep an eye on the timing, because they will straight up like march right up to you and be like, "Love me." All right, so we got our shiny. We can. Sweet. Well, that means we will not be resetting this time. Here, real quick. There's our shiny Weeping Bell. So yeah, these are just stuff that need to go into home for me to try to get that shiny Volcanion. Alright, let's warp. Let's see if we can get that Grafai. So one shiny for Shiny Sunday. Now, if we got a shiny Alpha Victory Bell or Weeping Bell, that'd be cool too. Just because I would love to see how big an Alpha Mega Victory Bell would be. We just keep doing our resets. Let's see, where are we at? 12. Once we get down to 1,000, we'll do another sweep. And we don't even have to get down that far. We'll go ahead and do another sweep. Unless, of course, it's an Alpha Trubbish. Alpha Trubbish will go aggro on you, but normal Trubbish is like, hi, pick me, please. Catch me. Like, you can literally just stand there in front of it, and it'll be like, hi, you're not running from me. Take me home with you, please. Like, genuinely, Trubbish was a Pokemon I gave no thought to whatsoever. And then in this game, watching the Trubbish, where if you highlight it to catch it and pull out a Pokeball, like how it runs up and it's like all happy that you're about to try to catch it, like, my heart. All the alphas. But yeah, it's just like, now, Garbodor, that's another thing, but Trubbish is friendly. Trubbish, though. Looks like we're not going to get the Brutal. That's okay. We'll do some quick resetting. See if we can get it down to the timer here. All want to follow me. There we go. And then I think with this one, we'll let it run. And then we can go find out what our special scan is. So that one was a success. Alright, let's find out what this special scan is. Hopefully it's not another battle zone. When I talked about special scans giving me Pokemon that I just don't need, this was one of them. Like, we'll do this. We'll try to get the next special scan activated. Just because the points are worth it. Typically. Alright. We'll just go in with this. And see what we can do here. Like, if I get a shiny for this, like, literally it's just going to be a Bax Caliber that I can have in this game. Oh. Well, now that's something different. The fact that we can get the Hisuian Avila may have just changed things. Alright, there's 2 Bergmite. Now we need to catch 2 dragons. Yeah, the fact that we can get Hisuian Avila. That is... that is something else. I should probably check and see what that actually... Alright. I see our golden ball. As I debate whether or not it's really worth trying to reset. Because I don't think we have... We've got an all types. But we don't have an ice. Or... Let's see. What does it look like? So the Hisuian one will go orange. Yeah, I hate to say this, but I think we may need to reset the zone and hunt the big boy here. I say that, and like hunting him will probably be just as easy and if I were to load up Legends Arceus and do it. So we'll let it go. We'll keep warping here and see if we can't get something to pop for us. Bergmite or Avalugg, either one. Well, we now have a shiny that we can use for our Baxcalibur here. In this game, so 2 shinies for our Shiny Sunday. Ironically, that's the Pokemon I missed in Pokemon Go's Community Day yesterday. But again, I've already got that in home. And technically, I may need a shiny Baxcalibur in home. But, like, I've got one that's shiny in Scarlet and Violet already. It's not like it's... absolutely necessary. Bergmite! Which I still need a Bergmite, because we have a shiny alpha Bergmite that we got on stream the other day, which I evolved into a shiny alpha Avalugg. So I still need a shiny Bergmite for our collection. And like I said, with the Hisuian one, I could always boot up Legends Arceus and hunt for it there. At least there, if we get the shiny Bergmite, we know we're going to get the Avalugg. See what can be found. Because we know it's about to close on us. Thankfully he broke that before we jumped out, so even though we're being thrown out, we'll still get those items. Alrighty. Get a quick look around, see what we got. Don't recall us having anything too exciting. Yeah. But that's 2 shinies so far today. Let's see what we can get. Let's see, that wasn't even a shiny we had a sandwich for. Or donut for, rather. Alright, let's see what we got. So surprisingly enough, I still need this Darly line for shinies. I'm tempted. Let's see if we can find out what kind of zone this is. Because if it's the nice zone, we might be able to get that Fennekin. Not so nice zone, and we might be in trouble for it. And have to reset. But oh, you're gonna be that. Okay. So that's where we need to go. We can work our way around. There we are. Alright. Like, I almost hate to use a sparkly donut. So we'll use this alpha donut with encounter power. Please, not a sewer zone. Please be open field. open field we have. Alright, so we got catch Alpha, destroy Pokeballs, catch a Numel. Alright. Alpha, catch Numel. Alrighty. Gonna warp back. So as you can see, the regular Finnegan are pretty much going to run away. Unless they're Alpha. So let's start doing some warping, because we know they're in our spawn radius. We've got that encounter power, so that way hopefully the ones that fled will refill faster. They're not within our spawn zone. That's okay, we can do this. Alright, so we got our Finnegan spawning back in. which I have the Houndour line already in home. So if we get that or the camera up, that will be purely for here in Legends ZA to be used. So we got our shiny Finnegan. So we're going to go ahead. Sweet. Now as we try to de-aggro. Alpha Puppus. What level was that? 16. So I'll need to check home to double check and see exactly what I need. Because I had a Delphox already once that I evolved in the game. And then we put I put Delphox on into home. So then I think we have a Finnegan already, and we need the Brexin. That's it now. But knowing my luck, if I were to evolve it into the Brexin, or Brexin, or however it's pronounced, that would be the one I had, and I needed the Finnegan. So we're going to leave it as a Finnegan for now. We're going to go catch that Numel. And that'll just be a shiny Numel we'll have for this game. No, you can't see me. They are persistent. I'm gonna have to catch some puppies just to break free of them. Alright, boxes. So, just so we can have them all together, we got 4 shinies so far today for our Shiny Sunday. Which our current record is 7. I'm not fussing though. That's our first Shiny Sunday. We had 7. Then the next one we didn't have any. From where we hunted for Latias the entire day. And just could not get it to spawn in. And then we finally got our Latios, and on the same stream that we got our Latios, we were able to get 6 shinies to spawn in. Now, I do think it would be cool to get a shiny alpha. While we're here. But the fact that we've gotten 2 shinies from the zone, one of which being the one we definitely wanted, and I wouldn't mind one more of, to be honest. Without even having a shiny power on our donut. Just encounter an alpha. Which that alphas, as you can see, is why we're getting so many alphas. And why I almost hoped we would have gotten the alpha shiny. Even though we did not. Do a few warps here. Welcome to the day. We're trying to get our shiny alpha here. If you're just tuning in. I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of shiny Houndour and Houndoom. I admit it has grown on me. But if I had an alpha shiny Houndour or Houndoom, I'd probably be using it over my current Houndoom. That's alpha. Still got plenty of time on this donut, so we're gonna do some more resets here. So by doing the resets, it refreshes how many are spawned in. And with the shiny charm, we have a decent rate of it being shiny. So every kind of warp back in resets every one of these spawns. I don't know. Like I love the black color scheme of the original. That kind of duskyish blue. Like I get it. It's not bad looking. Like it's not a shiny I like hate. I think I like the regular form better with the black. Now, like if it had been like a purplish color of some kind, that would be another thing. But like, I have to admit, it does look better in this game, or in these games, than some of the other ones, I feel like. Ooh. But yeah, it was just one of those things. It's just, and like I said, some games I feel like the shiny colors, they pop a little better. Like, I feel like it does pop better in here, but like when you look at it, especially in the like 3DS sprites and whatnot, I feel like it's just not as good. I like the black a little better. That's all. But that brings us up to 5 shinies for the day while on stream. I get that. I don't have a macro controller myself. Um, and I don't know. I've been hunting shinies pretty much since Gen 4. So, like, I've kind of gotten used to doing it the old-fashioned way. And this kind of warp method is a little bit newer. It's easier. It's, um, like I said, we don't even have a shiny sandwich going, or donut going on right now. It's kind of like the picnic resets in Scarlet and Violet. They could probably be macroed too, almost, but like, that one you at least have to pay a little more attention. It doesn't save the shiny where if you warp away. Which was somebody who's failed shinies, I do appreciate. But yeah, every Sunday we shiny hunt on the channel here. So far, I've only been doing Legends ZA, and that's mainly because I need to load up Scarlet and Violet and actually do some raids for some Herba Mystica. But I do plan on going back to Scarlet and Violet here soon. Legends ZA happens to be one of the ones that I had enough stuff I could pretty much jump right into. And like, I've been playing mostly Pokopia as of late. Yeah, see, Masuda method is what I mainly used when I was hunting in X and Y, well, Gen 4 through Gen 8. Now, I did some shiny hunting using the Ultra Wormholes and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and that was a lot of fun. Which I still need to go back and shiny hunt some more there. I still need some of the Ultra Beasts. I'm still soft resetting on Ultra Moon right now for a shiny Poiple. Which, I've got one shiny Poiple. I need a shiny Nagadel for the Dex entry for my shiny living Dex. In fact, we've pretty much got everything I wanted from this area, minus the luck of a shiny Alpha Fennekin. I'm half tempted to go ahead and move away. We'll do a few more. And then I have to admit, I kind of dislike the Dynamax Adventures and Sword and Shield DLC for shiny hunting. I get it. It can be fun. But when I'm losing because the NPC decided to use the worst move options available when all they had to do was attack and we would have won. It gets really frustrating. And just trying to coordinate that anymore with any of my friends who have the DLC. They're all busy playing other stuff now. So that means with Sword and Shield, about the only way I can shiny hunt realistically with any kind of consistency is the Masuda method. But I do feel that Scarlet and Violet, Legends Arceus, and Legends ZA did make shiny hunting a little easier. And there may have been a point in my time where I would have been like, man, now that means the shinies are cheapened. But we also have Pokemon Go giving us shinies. And with those able to be transferred into home, completing the shiny living dex is a little bit less intimidating. Now, admittedly, I missed out on all. Yeah, exactly, and that's the struggle is trying to get people to keep at it when they've already moved on from Sword and Shield raids. And trying to do them solo is a pain in the butt. I do not enjoy it. It's not consistent for shiny hunting on the Dynamax adventures. Now, like Scarlet and Violet raids, I can usually solo most of those raids in Scarlet and Violet. But the Sword and Shield ones are just a little bit harder to solo, especially the Dynamax adventures, because like I said, you've got three NPCs deciding to swap out for Pokemon pretty much when you don't want them to swap, or using defensive moves when you don't want them using defensive moves. And not many of my friends actually bought the DLC. And the ones that did are in time zones that are different from mine. So it was always a little bit harder to coordinate as a largely solo gamer. Now that being said, my son has finally gotten into the Pokemon games. He hasn't gotten the Sword and Shield DLC yet, so hopefully when he gets that, I can go back there and do the Dynamax adventures and get some of those. I'm still sad I missed out on the shiny Galarian birds, though. I'll have to wait for them to put that in another game for me to shiny hunt. And for some reason, I swore I had shiny Solgaleo and Lunala, but either they were accidentally on a save file that got reset, or yeah, they got lost to time somehow, because I cannot find mine. You've got the DLC for... Well, I stream every Sunday. We don't have a whole lot more left of this stream today. I've got about 15 minutes left, and then we're probably going to call it quits. I want to do a few more things before I head out to dinner to celebrate Father's Day. My kids were actually out of the house right now. Nice! See, I didn't put that many hours into Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield was one of those ones that I came through, I beat it, did some shiny hunting, and then moved on to other games. I've got a fair amount of gameplay time in it, but like nothing super special. It's not like Alpha Sapphire or Omega Ruby or X and Y for me. Um, which, I mean, I put a lot of time in Scarlet and Violet as well. I'd say for the Switch Pokemon game, Scarlet and Violet is the one I had the most time in. But that's because I enjoyed sandwich hunting. It's easy for me to do as a solo player. And like I said, I can solo pretty much just about any raid in it. So, like, getting supplies wasn't that hard. Given that it's a random drop for the Herba. But 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to about 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Sunday, I do Shiny Sunday. So if you would be interested, I also have previous streams on YouTube that I upload. And I try to stay on top of uploads. So like this stream today will go up before I do next Sunday stream, guaranteed. But I do have a normal job and the obligation of kids and family and other things I have to juggle, so. But I do a majority of my streaming in Pokopia, which I've got like 630 plus hours in Pokopia right now. Stardew Valley is the game that I have probably the most time in on the Switch. Let's see. Kingdom Hearts 4, when that comes out, I'll probably play on Switch or PS5, one of the two. I may even stream a playthrough of it when it comes out. When the Tarnished edition of Elden Ring comes out for the Switch, I'm hoping to pick that up and stream a playthrough of that. And I mean, this is all kind of, I feel like, as I'm biding my time for Winds and Waves to come out. Which, I hope they give us decent shiny hunting mechanics. I'm sure they will. Sword and Shield, like I said, felt like a little bit of a letdown on that. Because, like, when you look at it in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, they introduced... Yes, I'm hoping for the Alpha Finnegan. Specifically. I've already got from this zone this Finnegan, which is enough to complete the living decks, or shiny living decks in home, once we figure out which ones actually need to evolve into it. Which my first or second Shiny Sunday stream, which is uploaded on YouTube, I go through my home Pokedex and kind of show off what that living dex is looking like. So, like, I've got quite a few slots still left to fill, but, like, I'm doing good, I think. Like, I could be a lot worse, because, like, I didn't decide I was going to do a Shiny Living Dex until Scarlet and Violet. It was purely, I'm shiny hunting. I get shinies. I never turned down a shiny, and once I got the final form of what I wanted, that was it. For example, like with Shiny Greninja, I spent so much time in X and Y and ORAS hunting for that. Yeah, the shiny charm makes it a little easier. Still, I've done plenty of shiny hunting without the shiny charm, and I've had plenty of shiny fails happen before I could even use Pokeballs. So, like, I remember I've got Pokemon Crystal for the 3DS, and I failed a shiny Spinarak um, because I didn't have access to Pokeballs yet. So, like, there is a definitely a better challenge for um, doing it without the charm. And I can name several that I've gotten without the charm. Uh, but I have managed pretty much since Gen 4 to get a shiny full odds without trying on every playthrough. Um, for example, I got a Squavit for Scarlet and Violet. I got Metacham for Pearl. I got oh, I can't believe I'm blanking on the name. I think it's Tortuga, the first form of the turtle fossil Pokemon. Yup. Like, the one that hurt the most, though, was the Graveler loss. The Graveler using Explosion after Quick Ball, that was the hardest one for me. I should, and that was at the uh, midnight release for Sun and Moon that I failed that one. Like, I had witnesses, and they're like, "Why didn't you just use your Master Ball?" And I'm like, because I forgot I had a Master Ball and thought a Quick Ball would be good enough. If it had the best odds, it's outside of a Master Ball. I didn't expect it to automatically go, "Let's go exploding!" But, yeah. Gen 5, I got my shiny Deerling with a perfect attack IV, and that pretty much carried me for my grass type and normal type for that game. And then, what was it for X and Y? X and Y, I got shiny Klefki, and I ended up working that into a competitive style limited format team for taking on one of my friends, where we were doing basically a team of 6 where we weren't allowed to have legendaries or typing repetitions. So, like, if I had one dark type, I couldn't have another dark type. Even if it was a dark fire and a dark water, it would still count as having 2 dark types, so I would have to pick one over the other. It was a really gimmicky team, but I would not try it out on Champions if you paid me. But shiny Klefki with shiny Heliolisk. That was the other one that I got for my playthrough on X and Y. And then Sun and Moon is when I got the Tortuga from the reviving the fossil. And then for Scarlet and Violet, I can't even remember what my full odd shiny was on it. That's like the one game I can't remember because I got so many of them. But all the ones after that have all been because I was actively hunting or trying to get shinies. Nice. So, not all shinies. I mean, I could rotate, so like this Lucario's built. This Garchomp is built. I really need to get all the ones that I've got built for actual usage together. These Raichus are built, one special, one physical. So yeah. Oh, that's sad. Oh yeah, the Garchomp. Here, we'll swap him out. Which, I'm not a huge fan of the base shiny Garchomp. I kind of wish they gave Garchomp's base shiny the Mega Shiny color scheme. Because I love Mega Shiny Garchomp. Which I still need to... There's some Earthquake these. But yeah, kind of like I love my shiny big boy here. I love Mudkip. Kind of like Gengar shiny, where it goes white for the Mega. I wish they had fixed it. And it's not even... Like, you could make the argument, oh, they don't change the shiny colors. Ever. But that's untrue. Shiny Blaziken and shiny Combustion's color slightly changed. Like, there's plenty of examples where the shinies have changed just slightly as the game allowed for different colors to enter in a little easier, like textures and shades and whatnot. Which I don't think we're going to get our shiny Fennekin Alpha. That's okay. Like I said, I got a shiny Fennekin out of this. We got a shiny Numel out of this. We got a shiny Houndour out of this. Even if none of them were alphas. Exactly. Like, there's now a history of them changing the shinies a little bit. And I wish they would do that with some of the others. Make it a little bit nicer. Like some of the real subtle ones. Another one I can think of off the top of my head, that it's like the regular Golduck. Like, my Golduck that I caught in Scarlet and Violet was more to get it to stop attacking me than me realizing it was shiny. My capturing a shiny Slowpoke in Scarlet and Violet, for which I've got a shiny Slowbro that I use for, that's built for doing solo raids. Like, that was a pure... Is that different? I'm just going to catch it. Like, I really feel for people who are trying to shiny hunt in Scarlet and Violet with color blindness issues. Because not having the sparkle sound when there's a shiny really makes it harder for people who have color blindness issues identifying shinies. Like, I've had a friend who failed one because they were colorblind, and it wasn't until one of their friends was like, hey, by the way, that was a shiny that you just ran from. What? How did you... No, there wasn't anything that showed it. He's like, yeah, it was a different color on the overworld. Oh. I couldn't tell. So, I do have a funny Charmander fail for you. That wasn't done by me, but was done in my presence with my game cartridge. So, I have Leaf Green and Fire Red, and... was that an Alpha now? And I was playing Dungeons and Dragons with a bunch of my friends, and one of my friends had their girlfriend come over with us, and they were kind of bored watching, so I was like, hey, here, have a Game Boy Advance SP. You can reset this version of Leaf Green or Fire Red. It doesn't matter to me. I've already gotten everything off of it, so it's just for people to play with. And so she's like, oh, okay, cool. And she powers up the console, loads it in there, is looking at the starter, and then she's like, I'm gonna choose Charmander. Huh. I think the game's messed up. Click. She had a shiny Charmander, but because it was shiny and not the color that she expected, she thought the game was actually messing up and not loading properly, and turned off the power to the console, losing the shiny. Before I could tell her, don't do that, that's a shiny. Like, I saw the golden Charmander. But she had already hit the power button. And, like, the entire group was just like, no! Because, like, the people I played D&D with at that time, like, with the exception of the fact that, you know, she was there with one of my players. Yeah. And Arbok's even easier to tell that it's shiny. It's not like you can be like, oh yeah, the game's messed up. The color's not loading quite right. At least with the yellow versus golden versus red of the Game Boy Advance, it was kind of like, I don't think the color's loading right. All right. I think yep, it's 4:31. We got just a little bit left of this donut. I think what we're going to do is we're going to finish this donut, and then we'll call the stream a day, so that way I can go and get ready for dinner. I'm having Indian food with my dad and my family to celebrate Father's Day. But every Sunday I shiny hunt, so please, I'd love it if you'd follow and come join me again. It's nice having people to talk to while I'm doing this. And then Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Friday evenings, I've been streaming Pocopia Building. And then Friday during the day, in the afternoons, about that 2:30 time slot again, just like with Sundays, I've been streaming Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic for the original Xbox on the Switch. I understand. I have some friends myself in the UK, which is why I mentioned maybe the 2:30. Once we finish that KOTOR playthrough, I plan on alternating in something else. I've got KOTOR 2 that I can put in there. Again, when Elden Ring Tarnished Edition comes out, I also upload all of my streams onto YouTube. That would be under the Nerdy Nerf Herder. My link is on my channel page, and you can find it there, to my YouTube and my Instagram, which I'll post photos from my Pocopia builds on Instagram, and yeah. And then, like I said, I upload, and I'll be honest with you, when it comes to my live streams on YouTube, I don't do any editing. They're straight up upload, so you're going to get everything that you would have seen if you had tuned in. And the most I've gone with kind of being out is a week on uploads. Is the worst I've gotten behind. But like, if I get to the point where I'm behind on streams for a week, I'm like, okay, it's Friday night, or it's after my stream, or it's Saturday night after my stream, and I'll be in there doing uploads. But I do have several friends in England that I talk to on the regular, so I get the time zone differences there. In fact, one of my friends I got to know from England, I got to know because of Facebook and being active in a Pokemon group on Facebook back in the X and Y days, where like I used to do like anime trivia for the group, and back when I had an action replay, I would help them with like doing distributions, cloning, and getting some of those out there at the time when nobody used to care about whether or not the event Pokemon was cloned or not. Nice. So, Hone Edge line with. So, my favorite Pokemon typing is Steel typing. And Aegislash is like my all time favorite shiny. Even though my all time favorite Pokemon is Espeon, its shiny form is not as good as its regular form, in my opinion. My favorite color is purple, followed by red. So, like, it's the green shiny. I don't think it looks bad for Espeon, but because I am a purple and red fan, and that purplish kind of pinkish and red tones of Espeon, I like the original better. But Aegislash is that black, gold, and red shiny. Mwah, chef's kiss. Like, don't change that ever, Game Freak. Except to give it, the proper texture mods to make that gold shiny. But the Aeron line, so like one of the things I hate hunting Aeron on this is because it's like, okay, is that a shiny or is that just an alpha? From what I can tell, the base Aeron, the only difference on the shiny is the red eyes. So having the alpha with red glowing eyes makes it where it's like, is that a shiny? I gotta run up and check that. But I've already got the Beldum line complete. That was one I took care of pretty easy early on in my Pokemon Go days, as well as ORAS and X and Y, trying to make sure I got a good shiny Beldum or Metagross for my team, because Metagross is also one of my favorites. Which, speaking of favorites, my favorite mythical is coming to Pokopia here soon with the Jirachi event. And that is one of those Pokemon where I technically, if I pull out my Wii, I could shiny hunt Jirachi using the bonus disc from the release of Pokemon Coliseum and the Game Boy Advance Link cable. But that was always a hunt that I was a little too intimidated to try, because you gotta start a new save file every time you attempt to load in the shiny or Jirachi. Highly recommend Pokopia. If you don't have a Switch 2, obviously, I know if you're a Pokemon fan, knowing that Winds and Waves is going to be exclusive, you're probably already working towards it. But definitely, Pokopia has been well worth every penny that I put into it. I've already bought the DLC, even though I'm not a fan of the price tag on it. Because I know I'm going to get my money's worth. Like, I've already played 630 hours plus in it, and I'm not even done decorating Pallet Town. Like, I still have all the base zones to decorate still and get how I want them. Which Stardew Valley's one of my most played games. And then I played Dragon Quest Builders when it came out. And Pokopia plays very much like Dragon Quest Builders. I promise the price tag is a little steep, but it is well worth it. hold on one sec. Let me, since this one is. See, I've been wanting to try Crimson Desert. That's one that I have been wanting. So this zone, we're going to do a quick glance. I don't think we got anything. This donut's pretty much done, so we're gonna let it kind of run out. I'm gonna run through here. I've heard a lot of good about Crimson Desert. It's one I've been wanting to check out because I've got a PS5 in addition to my Switch too. All right, so real quick for today, we got 5 shinies on our stream. So real quick, I'm gonna transition to this, and I'm gonna pull something up. All right. So, kind of give you an idea of where I'm at on this. 640 hours or more now on Pokopia. I have thoroughly enjoyed this game. 220, which there's my friend code. I mean, you can add me on here. I don't. 390 hours on Shield. I have played KOTOR 2 way too many times. It's one of those games where, as an old school tabletop player, I played the D20 Star Wars game and fell in love with it. But 1,850 hours on Stardew Valley, 565 there. But, and this is just kind of what I've been playing through recently. It doesn't have everything like all the time I spent on Breath of the Wild on it or anything like that. So, but regretfully, I do need to end the stream so that way I can get ready to head out to dinner with my family. Nihilus is an amazing villain, although I have to go with Treya for my favorite of the villains for that game. But hopefully we'll get to see you again soon. And like I said, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know that's about 6 hours ahead of time. I usually stream for about a couple hours, but Fridays I do my KOTOR stream at 2:30 p.m. So hopefully you can catch me on one of those, and we can reminisce and share story insights and lore. Thank you for joining me. I hope you had a wonderful time, and we'll see you again soon.